My guest today is Roman Baber. He is a new MP for York Centre. He's Conservative, and he's a long-standing politician and a smart guy. Before then, though, please subscribe and become a member if you can. There's a button right to the right of where it says subscribe on your computer, and there'll be a longer interview with him later on available to members for the show. But anyway, thanks for coming back. It was good to see you. Congratulations on your big victory. And you've been causing problems for poor Mayor Chow and other mayors of this country with your views on safe drugs. Tell us.
Maybe Mayor Chow and Toronto City Council should be showing more compassion towards Toronto residents who didn't consent to all of these shelters coming in their residential neighborhoods. The problem is not the shelter itself. The problem is that all Toronto City shelters now hand out safe supply and drug paraphernalia.
Yeah.
So to put one near a school where a kid would potentially be picking up needles dispensed in that Toronto City shelter, something I object to.
And that's happening in Vancouver and Peterborough and Halifax, happening across the country. But then do you think they should?
You're correct. It's federal Liberal policy.
So
federal government
safe drugs, supposedly.
That's right.
Now, so are you suggesting then that instead of shelters, they should be out in the parks?
No, I'm suggesting that we should be moving them to employment lands. Those are institutions. There's actually a municipal argument here. Those are not residential facilities. They're institutions with a lot of turnover, where they share facilities, where they don't have standalone kitchens.
Will they get treatment?
Conservatives propose that they get treatment, because otherwise they're stuck. And what happens during the day is they roam the neighborhood, they go into parks, and we appreciate fully that there is a serious homelessness problem in Toronto, all around the country, primarily driven by federal immigration and refugee policy. But that doesn't mean that we should be ruining local neighborhoods with safe supply given out in residential shelters.
So Roman, let's just talk about, you mentioned the Liberal policy of drugs. I've been reading quite a bit about this, and most people now are saying, well, those experts 15 years ago, and the politicians, some of whom still adopt that, are wrong. It's just not working, and we need to help people get out of addiction and with treatment, and really it's not a question of homelessness, it's a question of people wanting free money and free drugs.
Unfortunately, we delay the inevitable. And I'm coming here from a place of compassion, where we have to offer people an ability to get out of this vicious cycle with a recovery program, to offer them an ability to break the cycle of addiction instead of continuing to perpetuate the addiction.
And there's also a big public safety, as you say, needles near schools, but the mayor of Barrie has declared an emergency, and he had this paraphernalia. I mean, there's guns, there's knives, there's cash, there's drugs. I mean, this is not homelessness. These are a bunch of criminals.
So that's another problem with the shelter. It's a mixture, right? You have the single mom who's down on her luck, who potentially is escaping an abusive relationship.
Yep.
You mix her with drug addicts, and you mix them, at least in the city of Toronto, with 40% being refugee claimants. We need a better solution to all of this. But I think you've identified it correctly, especially speaking about Barrie, is that this is a greater issue, in that this is an urban decay issue between the injection sites, the shelters, the encampments, all around the country.
I wish you well on your mission. Roman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.